There are things about money that nobody sits you down and teaches you. Not your parents, because most of them were figuring it out as they went. Not school, because school was designed to produce compliant employees. Not people who understand how the mechanics of money actually work. And not the financial industry, because the less you understand, the more they profit. I spent over a decade learning these lessons the hard way. Through empty savings accounts at 35, through paychecks that disappeared before the month ended, through that specific kind of shame you feel when someone asks about your investments and you quietly change the subject. Or those moments when you seriously contemplate cutting the tiny basic things that keep you sane, just to make the numbers work. What I am about to share with you are 7 quiet, uncomfortable truths that changed how I see every single dollar that passes through my hands. If you are watching this at the end of a long day, wondering why the math of your life never seems to work out, this is for you. This is Run, Mouse, Run. We do not examine the maze to run faster through it. We look at it so that, finally, quietly, we can find a way out. Lesson 1. Your salary is not your wealth. Your expenses are. For years I believed that making more money would fix everything. If I could just get that raise, that promotion, that better paying job, the stress would finally stop. My anxiety would pack its bags and leave. Then I watched it happen to a friend. His income jumped by almost 40% overnight. Within 6 months, he was just as broke as before. His lifestyle had expanded to perfectly fill his new income, like gas filling a container. The system designed this illusion to make us believe that material things will fill the emptiness inside. We don't take any of it with us when we go. But setting the philosophy aside for a moment, here is the mathematical reality. Wealth is not what you earn, wealth is what you keep. A person earning 50,000 who saves 10 is wealthier than a person earning 100,000 who saves nothing. That is an actual, undeniable fact. Stop measuring your financial health by what comes in. Start measuring it by the gap between what comes in and what goes out. That gap is your real salary. Everything else is just noise flowing through your hands. Lesson 2. Debt is not a financial tool. Debt is someone else's claim on your future. The entire banking structure is engineered to make debt feel completely normal. They call it healthy debt or good debt, as if borrowing money is a wellness practice. But it is not. It is a mechanism built to keep you chained to the desk. Consider this paradox. The system drains our energy, so we buy comfort to relieve the stress of working. But then, the debt created by that comfort becomes our primary source of anxiety. It is like paying for a softer mattress inside a prison cell. When you take on debt, you are not borrowing dollars. You are borrowing time. You are selling unlived hours of your future life to pay for something you consume today. That car loan is not just a monthly payment, it is hundreds of hours of your irreplaceable life, committed in advance to a machine that loses value while you sleep. Every time you sign for a loan, pause and calculate the exact hours of your working life you are trading for that object. Not dollars. Hours. When you think in hours instead of currency, the fog clears. Lesson 3. An emergency fund is the boundary between a minor problem and a complete catastrophe. This lesson came from the worst Tuesday of my life. The car transmission broke down. It cost $2,800 to fix, and I did not have it. So I put it on a credit card at 19% interest and spent the next 14 months paying for a repair that took a week. If I had possessed 3 months of basic expenses saved in a boring, quiet account, that Tuesday would have been an inconvenience. Instead, it became a financial wound that took over a year to heal. Emergency funds do not just save you money, they save you from making decisions out of desperation. And decisions made from desperation, like high-interest credit lines or selling your belongings at a loss, are always the most expensive choices of your life. Start small. It does not matter how slowly you build it. What matters is that when that inevitable Tuesday comes, you can absorb the blow without it fracturing the next 12 months of your life. Lesson 4. Inflation is a silent tax on everyone who saves in cash. This is the truth that makes people angry. For generations we were told that keeping cash in a savings account was the definition of responsibility. It is what our parents did. But here is what inflation means in practice. If you left $10,000 untouched in a bank account in the year 2000, your statement today would still say $10,000. But the real purchasing power of that money, what it can actually buy in groceries, electricity and shelter, has been cut nearly in half. You did not spend $1. You did not make a bad investment. The system quietly drained the value of your labor while you trusted it to stay safe. This is exactly what happened to Elias, the old watchmaker. He filled a lockbox with paper bills for 20 years, only to realize that the currency was evaporating while he slept. The architecture of the system is working exactly as intended. The lesson is simple. Do not store your life force in paper. Store it in things that hold real value over time. Skills, property, tools, and productive assets that inflation cannot silently dissolve while you sleep. Lesson 5. The most expensive thing you own is a lifestyle you cannot afford to pause. If you stopped earning an income tomorrow morning, not permanently, but just for 3 months, would your life collapse? If the answer is yes, you do not have a lifestyle. You have a trap. Every automatic subscription, every payment plan, every minor monthly commitment is an invisible thread. Alone, a single thread is easy to ignore. But woven together, they form a net you cannot break. The advertising machine spends billions to convince us that our dignity is tied to what we consume. In our deep fatigue after a long week of work, we buy things hoping they will bring us the peace we lack. But the comfort is brief and the debt remains. The quiet revolution is not earning more, it is needing less. Look at your recurring expenses not as numbers, but as anchors. Ask one simple question for each item. Would I buy this again today, at this price, knowing what I know? If the answer is no, let it go. Give yourself the breathing room the system tries to deny you. Lesson 6. Never take financial advice from someone who profits from your decision. If someone profits from your approval, their advice is not guidance, it is a sales pitch dressed in a suit. This does not mean every financial professional is dishonest. Many are excellent, but the economic structure gives them no incentive to protect you. Before following any financial counsel, you must ask one baseline question. How does this person get paid? If they earn a commission when you buy, their objective is to make you buy. If they get paid when you sell, they want you to sell. If they get paid regardless of the outcome, they do not care what happens to your future at all. The only financial advisor who truly has your best interest at heart is the one you have educated yourself enough to question. Lesson 7. Time is the only currency that never lies. This is the insight that changes the entire game. Once you realize that money is simply stored time, the fog lifts. You stop asking if you can afford an object, and you start asking if it is worth the hours of your life it costs. A $70 dinner out is not just currency. It represents several hours of your hard labor. Is that specific evening worth trading those irreplaceable hours of your life? A $200 jacket represents a full day or more of compressed human effort. A 30-year mortgage represents tens of thousands of your waking hours, promised in advance to a financial institution. Money can be printed, inflated, manipulated, and devalued by a government keystroke. But time only moves in one direction. It cannot be counterfeited. Elias, the old watchmaker, understood this implicitly. He spent his days surrounded by clocks, knowing that every tick was something leaving, not something arriving. When he finally looked at the maze, he realized the paper bills in his vault were not holding his time, but wasting it. So he stopped trading his life for a number on a screen, and he started building something real. These 7 lessons do not require a finance degree. They require something far more difficult: the willingness to look at the system you have been running inside of and ask if it is actually working for you. If even one of these insights made you pause tonight, leave a comment. Tell me which one hit the hardest. If you are new to Run Mouse Run, welcome home. We are not here to sell you a dream. We are here to help you see clearly. If these lessons meant something to you, a like helps us reach more people who are still running the treadmill. Subscribe for the signal, not the noise. Because the smart mouse does not run faster. The smart mouse stops, looks at the maze, and finally, quietly, starts counting its hours instead of its coins.